Hello, good morning. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are back on another edition, so wherever you're watching this program from, thank you very much. It's, another beautiful day and a happy Ramadan to each and every person watching this program, and a happy Lent as well to the Christian community. Both the Christians and Muslims are fasting at the same time. It began on the 18th of February. Of course, Gambia is independent as well. So happy independence to the people of the Gambia, those living in here and outside. So, it's more of different things happening at the same time, the Ramadan, the Lent, and the independence all juggled together. I have Mr. Mamadou Mboj as the newspaper review guest of this program. Good morning, Mr. Mboj. Good morning. How are you?
How are you feeling today, the day after?
Yes, I'm good. Yesterday was a bit hot. I am used to, staying a whole day without eating. Sometimes I come to work, I'll not eat throughout the day until when I get to the house. But I sip coffee time to time or take tea, you understand? But yesterday was a bit different, although I'm used to not eating for a long time. But yesterday was totally different. I don't know why.
Well, you said it was hot for some reason. What did you do? Where were you?
Yeah, I was throughout. I was up. Doing one or two things. Sitting the whole day. Sometimes sitting can be boring. Doing a lot of things. You're surfing on your phone, sitting the whole day. So that's what happened.
Okay. But you particularly felt the fast.
I felt it.
Maybe it was the first day.
But
maybe a good number of people will feel it on the first day.
Exactly, and it happened. For me, normally it comes with headache at the same time, sort of a migraine or something that comes with it. But when I go relax, take my food and relax for some time, then it will stop.
You see, mister, you survived it, haven't you?
Of course, nobody died.
Good, well done.
Nobody died, yes.
Mine was a different thing. With us, we were focused on the celebration, can I call it that, commemoration of our National Day. So we covered it at the McCarthy Square, and it was good.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, so we'll take a look at the African code from the code and the newspaper review with Mr. Mamadou Mboj. Healthy nutrition during Ramadan. We'll be talking to Omar Jaite. Maintaining balanced nutrition during Ramadan is essential to sustain energy levels and support overall health while fasting. A well-rounded suhoor should include complex carbohydrates, proteins, and plenty of water to provide lasting energy throughout the day. Very important. So we will also be delving into that. Ramadan attitude when it comes to eating. Healthy eating is very important. You cannot pile all these heavy bowls of food. At the end of the time, you are causing damage to your health. It's important. So the health personnel will take us through this. Yes. So, Mr. Mboj, the honor to go through the proverb.
Now, what is it? So this is it. The ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people. The ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people. What an inspired selection, really, given that we celebrated our independence, our 61st independence anniversary on the 18th yesterday. And this is so apt, it seems to me, it's so apt. What do you make of it?
It's reminding me of a proverb that says, when two brothers fight, a stranger will take over the land. The ruin of a nation begins when, what did it say again?
The ruin of a nation begins in the homes.
In the home. So it's telling you
its people.
It's telling you home is very important. It's telling you where you're from. You are the only one that can move yourself to another level. You are the only one that can steer yourself to where you want to be. Let's talk about the independence celebration of the Gambia. I mean, when Sir Dawda and the team traveled to, is it Marlborough House?
Marlborough House.
Marlborough House to go and claim for independence. I mean, that was like, okay, we want to stand on our own. We don't want to ruin our nation. We want to run our thing. So that was a bold step. I think whatever you do in life, you need a bold step. You need a beginning. You need that commitment to take over. That is the only way you can develop as a nation, as a family, or as an individual. So it's important for you to take a step always.
That is very, very true. The point really is society, the home, is the foundational unit of a nation. That's really what it is telling you about. And we've always talked about it, certainly myself and Adi, the idea that we scapegoat government or politicians or whatever groups. You see, we've had independence 61 years, haven't we? And you've had so many different people, workers come and go. We've been circulating people, haven't we, within the state. And yet we are complaining of the same thing. So it's a systemic, structural thing within us, the base in society. If I see that different people are coming in doing the same thing, then maybe we need to go back to the base. You know what I mean? So this is an absolute brilliant proverb for today. I've read somewhere that it is Ashanti, Ghanaian,
from Ghana.
Francis's people. So this is exactly it. And a good character, whatever that might mean, well, the nursery is the home. Everything begins from there. So it is a very good one, and I hope that we will reflect on this. Certainly, when I look at my society, what I condemn in people, what I condemn in society, I get this uneasy feeling. I ask myself, much, I hope you're not like that. You know what I mean? You must reflect on yourself. If I condemn it in others, I have to reflect on myself to make sure that if it is in me, try to do something about it. And that sort of thing. It all begins with us. The national failure is really our societal, individual failure.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you got the point there. I mean, the nation starts from the home, like
That's
you mentioned.
And we keep complaining.
We all come together to form a nation.
Absolutely.
So that attitude, it's very important for us to be positive, you know, whenever we go out. But it makes it very difficult, Mr. Mboj, at some point, because there are people that are not positive. There are people that are negative. So it's important for you to be able to balance those things at the end of the time, because positive and negative, you know, are meeting daily, because we form a nation. So how are we going to balance things?
Do you know why in a democracy they have elections? Because sometimes at bottom we really cannot agree. So we will allow Mr. A to form a party, B form a party, and all of you form your parties, come with your program, and we go to the ballot. Afterwards, we count who's got the most number of votes, you win. Positive people come together. That's how it works in society. Some people, as you say, will be negative. So be it. Or rather, that's not fair. When it comes to what we are discussing, depending on circumstances, sometimes you are positive, other times you are negative. So the same person can sometimes be positive, other times be negative. You know, you're bound to have stuff like that. So people who believe in the same things, come together, push your agenda, and see how you can influence what is going on. That's all you can do. To sit down and complain that A or B or C, they believe in this or believe in that, that will always exist unless you have an autocracy that would impose on just one behavior. When people are free, you're bound to have many shades of opinion. So come together and do something about it instead of complaining, oh, what are we going to do? Without action, nothing is going to happen.
Absolutely. Without action, nothing is going to happen. Viewers, this is QTV This Morning, and we've just dealt with the African code, so we'll be taking a short break, and after the break, then we'll take a look at some of the stories on the newspapers. We're still reminding our viewers, I mean, we appreciate you so much. For those that send their comments on our social media handles, I mean, telling us they are watching from far, I mean, the likes of Bahore in Gabon, we're saying thank you. And those that follow this program in Angola, we are also saying thank you very much. So we'll be right back after the break.
Network koto mi yalonko wole warta nyimbanko kan adung adabe soniaring wala nyama. Imuna fang telefono la mi yalonko abe seniaring adung internet wobe tariaring. Nyindung kiusel dorna sinyin nati aleno. Ibori yela kiusel line ota. Customer care mi suti atima. Bi. Kiusel network ko mi warta network ko beti adung adabe soniaring. Kiusel sunu boss. Ndolanga silo walang dolia bulan noma.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Obalde. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy Lent to our Christian community. And of course, happy Ramadan to the Muslim community of the Gambia. We coexist and we live peacefully. I mean, I think this is the first time it's happening. Both the Christian and the Muslims fasting at the same time. It's not the first time?
No, I remember.
It happened?
A few years ago. Yes,
No. What happened is they started.
Okay, and then we
they
joined
started,
them.
then we
when
joined
it
them.
Simultaneously.
So they left us.
time,
They left us. They
Okay,
finished.
right.
Then we continued.
So you mean this time we started
This
on
time
the same
we
day?
started on the same day. I
Yeah,
think this is
these
the
things
first
can
time
be-
in history.
These are just coincidences. These are well, I mean, you're not sure whether this is the first time in
Maybe
in
it
history.
happened.
You do not know. You do not
Maybe
know.
it happened another time.
I'm
Nobody
sure
knows yet.
that's happened a few
Yeah,
times.
Yes. So IEC on the Standard newspaper explains why it turned down UMC and 6 other parties.
We have to get into the details.
It
This
would
is
have
a-
been
this is a big-
significant for us to have Parmakan Khan here, I mean, on phone. Probably director would be able to liaise us with Parmakan Khan via telephone, I mean, to be able to explain before end of the program, because this is very important. Considering the relevance that UMC is making, the gains, I mean, a lot of young people joining UMC, I mean, they want to make a lot of changes when it comes to the political dynamics of this country. But here we are hearing the UMC, it's been denied to a certain level with other 6 parties. So it will be very important. Didn't they do their homework well?
You see, everything you said about UMC, you know, they represent a new voice and that sort of thing, granted. But of course, with the IAC, there are processes and procedures in place for you to register your party. So that's it for me. My focus really is on why. Whether UMC and others did their homework or not, I'm not sure about that. That's a different point. But here, the key issue really is why. Why they turned these applications down. I think that's really what I'm interested in, isn't it? Unfortunately, all we have is just a headline. We don't have the facts, so one cannot really delve into it. So one must be careful. This is potentially explosive, isn't it? You know, for reasons that you've mentioned. You know.
So still on the same paper, President Adama Barrow vows war on corruption at the Independence Day celebration.
Yes, we covered it. Yes, so when you say war on corruption, what does that mean?
Maybe getting those that are guilty of corruption and bring them to book.
Before you know those who are guilty, you investigate them first.
And investigations
Should
it takes a long process.
Absolutely, and then afterwards, what do you do about it? We get reports of corruption all over the place. The last time we checked, we read that 12, 13, whatever corruption cases now, I don't know whether at the courts or being investigated and the like. When I think, well, how many prosecutions, or should I say successful prosecutions, have we had on corruption? How many? You just don't get it. One can remember the PS officials, Banja, quite well publicized. After that, really, any high-profile corruption cases that have been successfully prosecuted, I haven't heard any, I haven't seen any. So this war, what kind of war is it? It doesn't seem to have many bullets flying about. So I don't know what kind of war it is.
Corruption. I mean, you talk about corruption all the time. When you mention corruption, the mental picture that people have, government officials stealing our resources, people that are in the helm of affairs doing away with a lot of corruption. Is corruption visible? Are we at a point where corruption is visible? Is it visible?
It's not something that you see physically, but there are telltale signs, and there are specialists in how to investigate it. This kind of corruption we're talking about, it is the use of public assets, public goods for private gains. So there are many ways of finding out. For instance, with the Select Committee of the National Assembly, or with some of their investigations, they will realize that officials do not follow procedures in financial management. Why not? That's an indication. And when you add that to other things as well, that shouldn't be. There's a clearly set procedure, but you don't follow it. You know what I mean? So circumstantial evidence, when you put them together, can be very persuasive in showing that possibly this person's been doing this or that. So there are ways of finding out. Just because it's difficult to find out doesn't mean that it is impossible. Yeah, because we locked up Banja. Well, the way we found out was through phone call, whatever. But you see, you can be found out in any number of ways. When people are looking, we'll find it.
Well, you see, the issue of corruption, Mr. Momodou, at some point, sometimes you discover corruption at a location that you were not expecting to discover it. I mean, how many government officials, that have high regards in society, I mean, we have found one thing for corruption and fingers were pointed at them. How many security officers were found one thing for corruption? So sometimes the people that you think will protect that system so that there will be no an atom of corruption, you tend to find them involved in that corrupt practices. So, I mean, what do you think it's the reason for that?
The reason for the corruption, there could be any number of reasons for that. They can be quite complex as well. But you said something. People you see sort of who are well-esteemed people, the sort of exterior image. That's all we see. What we see is just the exterior image. So we sort of associate that with all sorts of pious thinking in our heads, but it doesn't work like that. I remember one of our staff, there was a government official, he said, I like this guy. He was always praying. He seemed such a genuine, nice person, but implicated in millions of all sorts of things. So be careful how you judge character. And when we talk about corruption in this sense, you're blaming, you're focusing on top government officials, but we've seen that, come on, all over, from the bottom up, everybody. I remember sitting at some place, it was a restaurant in Kololi, and somehow the owner was talking to this guy working at NAWEC at that time. So there's a way that they can manipulate the machine that you pay less.
In fact, you don't pay.
Oh, stuff like that. So everybody, it's just a very strange relationship with our state. I can use it anyhow for private gains. So it's a very strange thing. It's not. That is why they said this. Our quote today, isn't it? What you're seeing in the state is really what we're doing in our homes and at every level. Just that we have different levels. If you have at the bottom, you get small things. When you are at the top, you get the big ones.
Yeah. So there's a message here. What an audit report does, you know. An audit report from a government auditor, internal auditor or independent audit firm can identify financial irregularity.
Yeah, that's very, of course.
You understand? Detect misuse of public fund, highlight conflicts of interest, so unauthorized expenditure, reveal non-compliance with law or procurement rules. You understand? So these are all things that should be, that should be followed. I mean, you see, the issue of fighting corruption, Mr. Momodou, it's a broad one. It's huge. It involves a lot of combination of efforts for it to work, starting from those that implement, those that create all these rules and regulations, and those that implement them, and those that consume these things.
No, it's bigger than that. You need the head really to lead in this. I once listened to Lee Kuan Yew. They had similar problems in Singapore when they had independence. So he had to be very tough. You look at the Chinese now, they're really very tough. They execute you for corruption. I look at Paul Kagame as well. He's so intolerant of stuff like that. So the inspiration, really the tone, must come from the head, and whether you're going to be decisive or tough. I was having a discussion with somebody the other day, that sort of thing. But the leadership, the toughness, the commitment to it, and you see, then it might have some difference. It might make some difference. We understand that the environment, most of our behavior is really determined by the environment. That's it. So we have an environment that is conducive to that sort of thing. You know, I get people who come, when they come to Gambia, when they drive, they just do whatever, that sort of thing. And then when you return, be it England or America, then you behave yourself. The same person.
It's the environment.
It's the environment.
The human being adapts
to the environment.
To the environment.
Exactly. It's a very, very curious thing when you're thinking about people's behavior and conduct. That's why they tell you, your behavior and conduct doesn't necessarily depend on what you believe. See, this is the key. Just depends on where you are. You may come with certain kinds of attitudes, but the environment will slowly, gradually twist you to itself. This is what we see all the time.
Yeah. So let's move on. Has Cameroon's Bakary ended exile in Gambia? You remember?
Yes, we heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, when he, at least, I mean, he came to the Gambia. Is he still here? Or
we don't know. That's an interesting one.
Well, you know, the government came up with a press release that he was in the country.
Yes.
So we still want to know
whether he's
still here, because it's a
gone.
long time, or have situation calmed in Cameroon.
To the extent that he could return.
He could return.
We hope that. That is certainly what I hope. I think differences politically shouldn't sort of descend into kind of malice and enmity and killing and stuff like that. Differences in politics should be differences in policy. That's all. It's just differences in policy, which shouldn't spill over into some barbarism. I think we miss a story which is quite, I think, is very important. Bibi Dabo's daughter, our appointed deputy head of UN human rights, but it is a big appointment.
Yeah, but for me, it's the headline for me, huh?
Yeah.
It's the headline for me.
It is the headline for you.
Bibi Dabo's daughter.
Yeah, Awa Dabo.
Yeah.
I know her quite well. We sort of grew up together.
Okay.
So absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big appointment. So now to the Cameroonian. Well, we'll have to find out whether he's still here or he's going to go back. Or I wonder if our president is interceding on his behalf with the Cameroonian authorities. One imagines that sort of thing is going on since he's here. So maybe they worked it out.
Probably. But to an extent, if calm return in Cameroon, I mean, I think they should work out their differences. I mean, both Cameroon and Guinea-Bissau. At some point, the main opposition leader in Guinea-Bissau also have to leave the country, you know, for a certain location. You know, so I think these are things. They are citizens of a country. Sometimes it's important to walk away to maintain that peace. But once it's calm, you have the right to return to your country and move on.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. The situation in Cameroon is different from the situation in Bissau. In Bissau, remember, Goodluck Jonathan called it the ceremonial coup d'etat. He went and he came back, didn't he? He returned, didn't he? Whereas in Cameroon, it was just very, very different. Yeah. And even in our situation, our former president, Jammeh's out, people are saying that now you've got peace, return. These are all different situations. You simply cannot allow you cannot apply one rule or one principle that would cover all of them. I think in Cameroon, there was possibly genuine concern, as it were, for his life. That's different. I'm not so sure about Guinea-Bissau. This might have been a kind of elaborate plot of some sort, so we do not know. So let's be careful. Yes, we hope that our politics would be less toxic, would be merely differences of policy, opinion, vision, and that sort of thing, and not personal enmity. Because we've got this sort of personalized politics we have. So politics is not a contestation of ideas and ideologies and visions. Politics becomes a contestation of personalities. That's gross.
Yeah, so let's delve into the final, sorry.
Yeah.
Although my director said we should take a break, but quickly, Food Safety Quality Authority closed bakeries that fail to meet minimum operating standards. What's happening to the Bakers Union of the Gambia? You know, when I asked Mr. Diba and Mr. Jallo, I said, okay, what are you doing so that you can meet the standard of at least operating a bakery? What are you telling to your union members? I mean, to make sure it's clean, to make sure they get the minimum standard of weighing. According to them, they are going a long way, but now the food safety is closing down bakeries that are not meeting standards.
Let's be careful here. Let's not overdo it. Of course, I'm sure the Standards Authority would be sort of telling them, the union will be telling them to observe high standards of hygiene, no doubt about that. How many bakeries are there? They cannot be everywhere monitoring them. Sometimes some of these people will do what they do. I cannot necessarily blame the union. It doesn't work like that. Unless if it is so widespread, you know what I mean, to the extent that it will seem as if there's no control. But these individual cases will happen. So now with the FSQA, when these things happen, what do? Yeah, you've closed them, and then what next? You cannot close them forever, you know. So do you have to go through some kind of process where they'll be fined or whatever, suspended, whatever you do? Just make sure that you apply these rules, principles across the board evenly, so that it can be some kind of deterrent and you're serious about it. Not that when you close them or you stop this or that, you can just work it out, and it's easy to just understand and move on. So be serious about it.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, this is QTV this morning. Thank you very much, Mr. Mamadou Mbodj. We'll take a leave of you now, you know, for you to go and do your upstairs. Yes. So we'll be back here next week for another edition of QTV this morning with you. So we'll take a short break. After the break, we'll be back.
Gina yombale si rewi Gambia bi fi jëfande kol bu set internet bu gaaw li yëpp si njëg bu yomba fi si QCell dawal léegi si suñ customer care bu la gën a jege ñu may la QCell line te doo si fay dara QCell network bu gën a rëy te it gën a yombale si réew mi fii QCell suñu bas ñoo xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa.
This is QTV this morning, and we are back after the break. If you're just tuning in, we're sending love and likes to each and every person following this program on our social media handles. And, you know, to our brother Ibrahim Jawara in the US, I mean, Ramadan Mubarak to you. And, of course, to our Christian community that follow this program as well. So we will be discussing, I mean, the nutritional values and the importance of healthy nutrition during Ramadan. As you know, maintaining balanced nutrition during Ramadan is essential to sustain energy levels and support health while fasting. So we have our colleague Omar, and Omar Jaite, Program Officer, Health Promotional and Education at the Ministry of Health. So, Mr. Jaite, you are most welcome on this program, and Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you so much, Mr. Balde, and good to be back. And as you said, I will also want to wish, because I know Christians, both Christians and Muslims are fasting. I will also want to wish them success in these processes, and Ramadan Mubarak to my fellow Gambians.
So why is it important for you to balance nutrition, especially during this holy month of Ramadan? So it's important for us to discuss this.
Yes.
And Omar, look, it would have been important for us to do this in the local language. You know, I believe we start with Mandinka. So that our viewers, the local viewers, can benefit. We can juggle into English time to time.
I know.
But Omar mbe numbara la ka foye ko bisimilla QTV ngalo ne ko sunkaro domurol kasiyale
ha
e katara konkorinne tilobe ne sungote drom e start ka domur bake a kumata ngalong domor ñaabe ñaadile ñanta mune domola andum bakela ñaame so laftale pour ye sene andiro kewto.
Thank you baraka bake Mr. Balde ñi de ngaro akumata bake comme drame kundankol ning isifal wali amira sunkaro domoroldi itola ma sunkaro kay domor patilon exactly. So ikaje sunkaro akumata bake mimu usually na normal routine nka minke watu wala nka kontonne so nka da samle so monda nga konton til bulo nga siman suto wala normal in kolke wala routine de watu nka milke na sulo kon bonni sunkaro nata o ka falenne kaje suro lom anin sunde watu kata fo surdo o taymo dorno domoro wicho and wo wicho konol fana mol kela sino o wicho rest watu di wo time do so wo sino nyin fo hansa mol continue ko butung ñin su wato aw kumala bagel pour mo alo ñanta min domola especially sur wato ani sunte wato fana kumala bake ñanta min domola because balo nka min domol ka samba ni aje nka domoro ke somonda pour woyen samba fo konto wato nga domoro konto woyen samba fo sima wato sima nga domoro ke ngalla wala nawuli domoro balo ñinna ka samba bare sunkaro kono kaje nin domorta suro domor buka ko tem fo fitiro buto wo bicho nkata do ko la wala kono nkatara na ko la wala kono butum o wato le mulka jijama min normally bar sa wol betije butum aba kumala bakela pour suru wato moy domoro do mi alon ko asi sambano fo nyin ni nato wala domoro do mi alon ko ba kumala bake suru wato kon pour moy wol domoro te mi alon ko mba fala nyaadi le ila tibawol ka fay fiber mi alon ko ila fata femmal mi alon ko fata fengol soto yirdingol bolle kono ani kamin fo molle jama sun karo kon wolom ya kate la palatol e kolal soto palatol e colorful because ninko colorful wolom ngalo ne mille kolal soto carotol mentangol ka kumbal wol mu fengol let mille alon ko e kolal soto andum ye fengol let soto mille alon ko balu ka sula wolla tilo kono buti ibajala nim mo ko wodon wato wati ha ngalo ne konko binalal de bara mari amante mari batandila baki ani min kumara be ke wolon jioti normally WHO min recommend wolon jio at least inyanta 3 liters minale per day per day ni ajibe ning evian bidon ba ni ngoma fulanti e fula ha sungaro ko fanya da katal at least yo soto inyanta katalale yo soto kabo sunte wato kara suru wato inyanta katalale ila njio inyanta kamin soto yo soto because domoro dol balo kol mutano bar jio balo surata min na kolta ay toñi fintindi balo surata min na kolta ay toñi fintindi domo dol newol domo ikaje balo bolta la ay mabo na sulata la ay fintindi ay use bar jio balo bukate mabo no bake akabe fintindi
wo muto nyalti ka ñing subol nka mil domo ye wuli dron ye chikinota o ye sungote dron ye ñin sosu bata diwlin jamal you know ya be domo after simo fana yena
domoro ka
ye ku jamal la faji wobe mum mantorole natila
alon coming Gambia saying sa fono te nganna ngam fangol jibe saying chikinol ka domo nyewo fangoti Gambia say mul kata nyama
nga wala je wala siyata
wol bakering mul ka chigino domo bimu kedo ma man joya bare atabinya ka joya ndele do bije kedo mo aman joya ana atabinya fana ka joya ndele ika je chigino ni fry fa jata yo ya fanga fry fa ja atariata katabi akataliara kamwa akataliara but tulo saba afangono na fraka ka tulo absorb afangono and wo tulo ni dabo domorola yani tuldol ta ibe domola o mam beti ayte marita because tulo mfenneti mi alonko mbayen tembo min do ko be ko sa tara gambiano balo kon fo tulo ku da gambian tulo ko domol na dal bel butum bimu doro ngakata na sunte watu la na suru watu na domor nya mi alon ka ni steaming non wala fajindiro wala janiro ni wol sakeno ngawol ke fry roll nge tala fry fengol nge tala ani yemin fana fo ka domoro domo la ndeka mol advice minna su ni ba sumo tela domor do fo ke bang yeta ye kudo ke febi dala fitirol salla ni parete muruna yena ila milke wala yesumote yesuntere ngofo dom proper because ni domor do domo ni jeni ika especially tamare is good tamare mi alko sungaro kona kasial ni a domo iba jela jeni iba salla binale foyi domo doge abatare balu start absorbing that buti balu ba kalam tal ko san domoro natale buti ni balu kalam ko domoro natale iba jela ita mele domo do ikono fala ban ni tana re sita domoro ba ni fangol ebo domo la jeto hakilo buka fay kono fatal de ila mosulol wala ka fay ko sa mosulo straight tal ko bulta bodi bajal ni do folo ke ngam foye abatar hakilo ba folo yela coming domoro do kel already so ni ndango akani bajal ita mari fon ita domoro bagal because hakilo bon ni ndango niya jama ba domo wolta ita absorb la folo ita batara domo kana do konkol batara because ila yelo kono domortije so wala na kumala ya domo do folo domo eta yesali wole kudoke wala ina siyen domo doke
wo kumaya tale ite yaaje ñaadile sunkaro kono mool la domor ñaa ika bata ku mum bata ku le soto ila domor ñaato ha
okay especially mol mi alon ko sa dol bela wolka bata baake wala na wol jama babi je mi alon ko sa wo diabetes bela high blood bela ka borol min ya borbi watol soto wol jama min mu ndaka mol ke advise min na wole tay ni la docteur wole si ini abondi nyoro ni docteur ko kana sum ni docteur ko kana sum ni docteur ko sum bara kete nga docteur afo nyam yake wonya because we alon na aba akamen foye ha wala na akamen foye but modol mil alon ko e ka bata domoro bala baake sunkaro e ka modol je ni ka bo sunkaro kono instead of losing weight modol ni weight ka fendi sunkaro kono e ka balo soto wo min ko sa bolon ko min ngamen foye domor bañi sunde wato ni sima wato te mede domoro sunkaro fa ne sunde wato ne sumote sima just eat something light fruit soda domoro kela you don't need that, you don't need all that energy for what ima domoro be ni di balo kono ne sumote doro that's enough isa jiol continue la jiol min for la wato because dio ko min ngafe nyam balo woni la continuously isa continue la jiol min fo yela suro fana yela jiol min yela suro fana it doesn't need to be heavy amanyana kulyala bage because akumata bage because it is the energy wol ba sembo dile eni mbo tilo bekela sembu jama bje o suro ba dile wala akumata bage pour mole suro because inyande la haju lekela o haju suro lebe ma ko le woke da kumala bage suro kumata bage pour mole wuli ka suro wato le saje sa energy so to eni mimba de nyimbe kala suro ko fo nyama afanya de kala fenneti mi alonko to babul ka mi nutrient dense and low digestion manya tariala wolon balo ba domoro nyim bondila domoro fo nyim bal nyama manya taria bala fengol min ka oke wolon fengol ko min nga fo mi alonko e fata fengol soto mi alonko sa funo niela monomi wala yela subo domo yela grill fengol domo akata fruit killing fula ya nyimi e jomi eta ila obe mako la ba abe mako
sunkaro kamo mako nyaadele pour yela domor nya plan
okay ha sunkaro alon ko mi ngafu e nyamin ntolka continuer ka now domoro siata ni jamano domoro siata ika moja ka domoro ke mi alon ko abalo ma need ka domoro ke balo ma need o domoro dol bije kata mabo e balo kono so mo ya elsi balo kono kata e mabo je because balo o sotole balo o sembo sotole ka domoro ta ka mabo e balo kono so domoro dol ni sunkaro kono o domoro dol ka fintile use o domoro ni met accumulate balo kono kana problem dol nati sunkaro opportunity e dila pour ilo domoro dol mini alon ko ye domonum ime ibalo man sulele ibalo e mabo e kono sunkaro ko opportunity dila pour ibalo opportunity so ko fana use o domoro mi lan ke be balo kono e mandal use ka ibo balo jela I will use normally nin kongo e momuta ikaja mi kongo e bo yaje kongo e muta around 12-1-2 because ikondo waro sida that is routine ikondo waro kongo e muta iba ni da 3-4-5 bindo be muta ba kongo te muta o time o hicho kono ibalo e domoro mi mabo wala bitale ye lokono ta etara wo use kan so no itamari man domor ke nyaaw bo domoro be kono mi yalon ko ibalo ya mabo a ke yo lokono o tembo le ta wala use ka butum ni opportunity nyin e mobile nyanta kata la akanida pour domoro be balo ko mi meta je balo ma use pour balo e use ni sungaro
say molu meli yalon ko sasal bela anu docteur ko alkana sum ko kabare continuer ta pour kasum
alon docteur ya ka karang do bi jakata sanyi ika sanyi woro wala kele na karang akoli ata baake londo mi alon ka londo warta baake ni wo koy kana sum ama fo kan sange kana sum o alon ne sasa mbela alon ne ka borol minta alon ne ni sunda min sakeno ela alon ni wo koy kana sum wo ya maro nyanto mo ela nen docteur o koy kana sum wo ya maro manta nyanta especially diabetes hypertension diabetes wo ila bala sukuro wal ka siya aka siya nyami aka tare a jilo lo fana nya especially ni ka boro dolta in doctor ko kana sum doctor aba prevent kana aba abe tankandi kana pour ila yelo kana ji sagar ke mi alon ko abe mantora ha
okay very interesting fenna me alon ko kuma ta bake foka pare fanan nga jele it's important dindingol fanan moli e consider buga ka jele modol bi ke la dindingol force le pour yesu ha ita fana yewoje nyaadi le
okay so dindingol aman jare forcer ka sum comme inte mfama tarta ka mingi aka fo sum for 12 sum for what 2 ya te sam for sum for 2 ya te I get tilkilin that is how ibe na ta kan sum go they will begin to ha but dallala so dindingo kai imanya na ka forcer a sum because dindingo man ka ko min ke ba it one delta sum wala 2 itel mentati so wo be bi dindingo mo manya na ka forcer a sum na ka da sum na rek kana sunna ani fana min man suiba so kono nyanda hakilo tule because sungaro kon jama balbi je bo kon to tabi e buga da hango do mortol dindingol ka balu dindingol ko lel dom so ni nata bayala dindingol domoro bo le kono atra jenika ika domoro di molla ye dindingol tabondi ya bula firjo kono kana domoro to ta ko di dindingol because domoro nata da fusa bulul blata kono it's highly likely that fendo jida bula jel mi ngata dindingol man tora nata bayala woto nata bayala dindingol domoro bondi kabirin sunte wato ya soronku ya bla fili kono ni da tabiro kala inta nin aside akandi ya di dindingo la do ni wonte abina kono ma kuyal na ta dindingo mi yalon ko ababa tan dila ba
to nyalam mun do mor ci falle kumma yata nata inata pour ka sembodi isaye mo hanata be sunkaro filla bare aba mako elale throughout
okay domoro mi yalon ko ise mako no wala nango suro o domoro nyul ba bete ala suro atole mili alon ko ibatare fe yame fe o domoro ba kumala suro atole domoro wolon domoro te mili alon ko fata ma fengol siata anim fana baloka o fata ma fengol mi alon ko siata baloka tare baro buka tare ya ke absorb balo buka tare ke absorb comme in kamin ko cigino bete atale ota tabinya chigino nia supi kan fo sup it's very good manjare kosi andi je baade just abeli adal that's ni o domo ye vegetable ol dol domo ye fruit ol domo ye jiomi woka just walk it wrong you compare with another day mi alongo ye ibage yes you itafo ba iba kalamtale balotol because jeni baloka ol base baloka ol domorol beta e be bondi nyoto ake demande mon bon yo ka tamo tala so wolka tare mari supply kan numero dal demande so jeni wolka ba o ka tare tilo jam fata ka o ka tare tilo jam fata
ya yelente en 40 janna bi kon tenene malon ko balo nyin aka domoro nyin stole den aka di balo la energy demande nte ma wolon
wolka ke liva la ka ke ibaje ne domoro ke ila liva because ne domoro ke akane domoro nya akane la yelo kono as glucose so na jara liva ka tar rek a process ake tiba e ka fami glycogen so liva ko stole aka mabole
okay
so ni glucose je liva ko glycogen ta ko da fali aka glucose ake yelo kono so na siara wol kana diabetes nyol nati anim fat fana ka domo nyami balo kabinta aka wol fat isa dolda ta accumulate kono dola na wutol do so na kunda man tafu wolon domorti je balo ko be use
wo aka wolle
yes okay
abarka bake wato nyim bantale kacha nyim kuma yata bake bare ngalon ne nyinta kala the last time te kana nyin ramadan inshallah be engage la bake kato nyim mo fennete me yalon ko mol sula tala andun important le pour mol sa karang woto abarka bake Mr. Jaite ngalon ne ning ala sonta mbe do fana regla sa mol sa ke kandoto barka thank
barka baki Mr. Balde thank you so much
yeah so viewers this is all we have for today I mean we'll be back here on Monday for another edition of QTV This Morning. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.